Hello and welcome to Book Review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing all the books that I read in January of this year. Now, with that being said, let's just jump straight into it. Up first, we have Stormship Troopers by Robert Heinlein. Now, I didn't think this book was all that good. I thought it wasn't great. It was marketed as like a sci-fi space like war adventure, specifically like they're like fighting space bugs or whatever, but it only had a little bit of that. It was very predominantly like politics and morals and like efficacies of war, which like I don't have a problem with, but it would be nice to know if I was going to be reading that before I start getting into it. Like the book was like 400-ish pages long, like I think it was like 350, and there was only like 3 or 4 actual fight scenes against the bugs. Most of the time was spent following our protagonist along as like he deals with like moral efficacies and stuff and like dilemmas that come up during war and just like all the policies that go into, because he starts out as like a ground trooper and he ends up becoming like a sergeant or whatever, and it deals with all of that. Overall, I mean, it was good writing. It would have been fine if I knew going into it what it was, but it didn't brandish itself as that, and because of that, I didn't think the book was that great. Up next is Lord of the Flies by William Golding. Now, I thought this book was just okay. It wasn't bad, but just it didn't live up to the hype it has built up. It was, you know, marketed as like being a classic and a must read, and it was good, but it wasn't that great. Like it's just okay. The storyline is very predictable. Like you can see things coming way before they happen. The writing, the visual images you get while reading are really good, so that's nice. And my favorite part was the ending. No spoilers, but like the very ending, that genuinely surprised me, and it was a good ending. But other than that, like the book was just okay. Like if you want to read it, but like I don't think it's worth the hype. Up next is Ring Shout by P. Djeli Clark. Now, I thought this book was good. You know, nothing great, but it was a very good book. It was nice, short, very condensed, but not in a way that you felt like you were missing anything. At no point did it feel like anything that I was reading was like just page filler or fluff or anything like that. It all felt relevant to the story, and I appreciate that. Storyline is very nice, cohesive, very easy to understand. Overall, this was a good book. I enjoyed it. To anyone who likes horror and like, you know, social, racial commentary, I would recommend this book. Up next is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. Now, this book is like a mystery that also deals with like kind of timeline sci-fi stuff. And I thought this book was good. It's a mystery book, so you don't really know what's happening until they want you to know what's happening. I've never really read a mystery book like this before, so I enjoyed it. It was a nice change of pace. It was still like sci-fi because it has to deal with like timelines and stuff. We follow the protagonist as he wakes up and he has no memory, and he must find out who Evelyn Hardcastle's murder is. And it's a good book to read along. I read it in a book club. It was good. You know, you can kind of piece the puzzles, because, you know, mystery gives you little pieces along the way. Piece the puzzle together, try and figure it out. It was a good read. Next up is Full Moon by Jim Butcher. Now, this is the second book in the Dresden Files, and I loved it. I thought it was a great book. It doesn't try to be anything that it's not, you know. It's pretty predictable. There were some good twists in there. It wasn't as black and white as the first one. This one had some good twists, some good mysteries, kept me on my toes. At no point did I know what was happening until it was happening, and I can appreciate that. Writing was good, storytelling was good. Overall, it was a good book. I enjoyed it, and I'd recommend reading this one if you enjoyed the first one. Those are all the books I read this month. If you want to see more content, click the video here and watch my book review from last year, where I recapped all the books I read last year. And stay tuned for more. Right, man? Signing off.